So, this is the first episode of
2Dudes1Podcast.
Okay, sounds like a good name. So, Mr. Hayes,
Yes,
how you doing?
I'm Mr. Hayes, and
Yes,
you are
sir.
Mr. Wagland.
Yes, sir.
We are here today to talk about two movies that we've seen recently.
Yes.
So
Us.
let's start. Yeah, there was Us, and there was Shazam.
Do you want to go with us?
I'd rather actually start with Shazam first.
All right, let's go for it.
Okay, so I'm going to let you start. Go ahead, because
Okay.
I know how you feel about it.
Yes. Well, first of all, I don't know. Every scene was just, I don't know. I just like watched it and I was just like, "Ugh, it's so good." And I don't know. I would say I'm a little biased in terms of like how much I liked it. So, I mean, obviously,
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. So obviously you disagree with me, but I don't know. I love the story. I actually thought Dr. Savannah was actually pretty good. Like wait,
He was
Willie,
the villain, right? Played by Mark
Yeah,
Strong? Okay.
if if you said if Green Lantern takes place in the DCU, then that would mean Mark Strong plays two different characters. He's Sinestro
Mark
and
Strong's
Dr. Savannah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's Sinestro.
Oh, he is awesome. Okay.
And I really wish that they made a sequel to that movie.
Honestly, they should have just counted it in the DCEU because I find that one of the best DCEU movies.
It was supposed to be. It was the first movie part of the DCU, but then because it failed, they were like, okay, now Man of Steel is the first. That's what happened.
Well, at least, a failure spawned a success. Deadpool, he did a very good job with that. So.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, back to Shazam.
What else is there to say about?
Let's talk about the story a bit. So.
Okay.
It's takes place in present day. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, present day, and it's about a guy named Billy Batson. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Billy Batson. And what happens, one day he stumbles upon this grand wizard, and part of the Shazam Council, I forgot the council name, but I'll call it the Shazam Council, and they're in trouble, so he needs to pass on his power to Billy Batson. So Billy Batson spawns into a man named Shazam, and he gets all these powers, and that's where the story is.
Do you want to hear a fun fact?
Let's go ahead.
Originally, he was called Captain Marvel, and Shazam was just the phrase he says, because if he talks about himself like I am Shazam, then it'll turn him back into a kid. So he used to be Captain Marvel, but because of Marvel, they changed the name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what?
Okay. I remember I was watching the movie, and they said a joke, but it completely went past my head.
What?
But I looked on it at Reddit when I came home. It had something to do with Captain America. It was pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, here, I'm going to look it up to correct, like, to see if I'm right. But, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. That, yeah. So, continue your thought while I look it up.
I don't really have much else to say. I mean,
well, explain what you thought was
really
good and what was bad.
Okay, so honestly, the whole thing about, I don't know, like I can't think of any negatives though, because I really liked it. I thought everything just molded perfectly, and it was like a perfect adaptation of the Shazam's New 52 origin, and that's like one of my favorite ones. So I was like, I don't think I have any negatives. Like I thought the story like just was really smooth. It worked really well, and acting was good. Like the one I really liked was Jack Dylan Grazer as Freddie Freeman. He was really good. Like I thought he was really funny. Like but you thought he was a bit annoying, right?
I found him a bit of a little bitch. Like I understand why they made him like that, but like personally, it's just he was a bit of a little bitch.
How come?
Well, he was like, oh yeah, feel bad for me. I'm not going to say much, but like, I felt like they were trying to make you feel bad for him, or just him complaining would make you feel bad for him.
Oh, dude, go relentless on the spoilers for the
this
podcast.
Is a spoiler? No,
Yeah,
I'd rather keep it non-spoiler. So
non-spoiler, okay.
So yeah, because people prefer non-spoiler.
Right.
So that's why I've been a bit vague with what I've been saying.
Yeah.
So here, I'll talk about it, I guess. So the story, it was okay. It was somewhat original, but I found it had some resemblances to Big, which personally I wasn't even the biggest fan of Big. Like I liked it. I gave it a 3. Yeah, yeah, it's a good movie, but honestly, it's not Tom Hanks' best. Well, the thing is, I feel like I have a hard time with some coming of age movies. Like some are really good, like Ferris Bueller, but some are not the best, like Big. I feel like it's a hit or miss with those movies with me.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I kind of like this was more of a coming of age than anything.
Mhm.
Which I'm not the biggest fan of coming of ages, so maybe that's why I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie. It is a good movie. I did enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but like I was saying to Aiden before the podcast, I found it just average. I found like there was the one or two things that were bad that was like, what the hell? But other than that, like it was just okay. Like I felt like they just made it average.
Right.
But I do have to say the jokes were great, and what's his name again? Zach Levy as Shazam is pretty good, and they picked the right guy.
Yeah.
That I can't argue with.
I thought it was perfect casting. Like, 'cause, have you ever seen Chuck?
Yeah, I saw the first couple episodes.
Okay, yeah, I love Chuck. It's one of my favorite shows. So,
Yeah,
like, when he was announced, I was
good.
like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I did not expect that at all when he was announced.
Yeah, I felt like
it would be John Cena.
that would have been interesting. Anyways, but yeah, I felt like it was the same as Tom Hanks. Even though the movie I found was just meh, I felt like Tom Hanks did a great job playing as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, a kid could play as an adult, like the Boss Baby, but an adult playing as a kid is a pretty good job, and that's a good actor.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Only a few people like could do that.
And I felt like his charisma really played off in the movie, which was good.
For sure.
I do have to say the one thing that I did like is that it looked like they had fun making the movie, which I can't take away from them.
Right.
But other than that, I don't know. The villain I wasn't the biggest fan of.
Okay. Why, you thought he wasn't well developed?
Yeah, I felt like you saw him twice, and then the final act happened. Like, with him.
Really?
Yeah, I felt like we didn't see enough of him, and I felt like his development wasn't even the best.
Oh, okay.
I felt him like, meh, he was just there. Like, you know those... I find the best villains are the ones that are developed the most, and ones that you could relate to, or see why they're doing bad. Like,
right.
Thanos, I'm going to say. Thanos, even though, like, he killed the Avengers, he was basically right.
What?
Yeah, Thanos did nothing wrong, okay?
It's like saying Hitler did nothing wrong.
No, we don't talk about that. But, yeah, but I find the villains that you could relate to the most, like Anakin is a great villain.
Or Darth Vader.
Yeah, Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. Well, I say Anakin Skywalker because in Revenge of the Sith, you see why he did it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if
however, I will say, though, his transition is a little fast. He goes from being oh, I have my Obi-Wan, hope you have a great mission, to like, I'm gonna kill some children in like an hour.
A Sith Lord? Yeah, that I could agree with.
Yeah,
I don't know. I find some of the villains, the ones that you can relate to, are the best. Like Vulture from the MCU is a great villain. I find as well. There's the Red Skull's a really good villain. Mm-hmm. But the ones that are bad are like Ultron and like what's his name again? Mads Mikkelsen and
Caecilius.
But yeah, this movie, I have to say the villain was better than the ones I did list, like the bad ones. But still, it was just it could have been better.
Did you like Ocean Master?
I actually really liked Ocean Master. I found him ridiculous, which I liked.
I am the Ocean
Because Aquaman, simply being to Aquaman now, I found it so ridiculous and not taking itself seriously that it played off of it well, and it like knew where it was going. Like I read a review before, and they said Shazam, the first part of it, it had a hard time like the first act, I'd say, before Billy turns into Shazam, it was kind of trying to find its place. Then once he turned to Shazam and the comedy really started to kick in, it was good.
I do kind of agree with you. I do admit that the pacing's a little like, but like I guess like it like only really like goes like bam like
the first 5 minutes I found a little ridiculous. I was like, what the hell is this movie?
What, like with the whole. Okay, I don't want to go into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying? Like the origin story of the bad guy, we'll say. The first 5 minutes, it's kind of just like, what?
yeah, yeah. No,
And
I get you.
yeah. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Actually, one more thing. Some of the action scenes I found a little, like, it was okay, but it didn't excite me or put me to the edge of my seat. Like movies like Spider-Man or Ant-Man or Star Wars, like the action in that, it's great. You can
I
say,
don't
wow,
think
that was really good.
it really needed it though. I think the movie needed more focus on character because he doesn't really know how to fight. He's just a kid. Remember that?
Yeah, I see
So
that, but like, there's always a final battle at an action movie. I find the final battle was uninspiring. I don't know. Like, I found it just okay. I wasn't like on the edge of my seat. Oh, this is amazing. What? Oh, he really hit him. I just found it slow.
are you? Well, I'm sure like when we get to the sequel, the action will be better, especially with the Rock being in it
Oh
as
yeah, for
Black
sure,
Adam.
for sure.
Like I think it's gonna be good. But before that, there's gonna be a Black Adam movie. I think
Oh,
it's coming
okay.
out in 20. I'm pretty sure filming's supposed to start as soon as he's done the Jumanji. Or sorry, as
Oh,
I
the
like to call it,
sequel
Jumanji. What?
of Jumanji.
What, you didn't know?
Oh fuck. Well,
What you didn't hear about it? It's Danny DeVito's gonna be in it.
oh, okay then.
Yeah, Danny
Oh yeah,
DeVito,
it's true. I just didn't know
Danny
when they were
Glover,
filming.
and what's her face? You know Aquafina?
Yeah, Aquafina here, that chick.
Yeah, what type of stage name is Aquafina? She named herself after
I don't know.
fucking water.
Anyways,
Aqua.
so let's give a rating to Shazam. What do you give it, Aiden?
Solid 9 out of 10.
Solid 9 out of 10. I gave it a 3 on 5, so that's about a 6 on 10. So if you take the average of our opinion, the movie is a 75%,
Okay.
which is expected, I think.
So does that mean our score to give it is 75%?
The 2Dudes1Podcast score for Shazam is a 75%.
Okay, I'm cool with that. I'm cool.
I could stick with that. That's not bad.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
I think I could appreciate it more if I saw it again because, like, if I know what happens and I'll just, like, appreciate it with the jokes the second time, I might like it more. But I think Aquaman was more of a enjoyable film.
Okay.
I felt like I really enjoyed that.
Do you see if you watch Aquaman again, you think you'd give it a better grade? Because I remember you originally gave it 3.5.
I might give it a better grade, actually. I was debating to give it a better grade as soon as I saw it.
Okay.
I knew it had problems. I knew it had problems, but
Yeah.
it was fun.
Yeah. I forgot. Whatever, it's okay.
So now the next movie we saw Friday, the 22nd. Oh yeah, and by the way, we saw the early screening of Shazam. So on Saturday the 23rd, but now we're Friday the 22nd. We went to go see Us in theaters.
Yes, sir.
And I'll let you start again.
Okay, so Us. That was one freaky movie. I was gonna say something else, but yeah, that was.
We're
a
gonna censor the other ones in the editing.
Fucking water.
I am the ocean.
Yeah, no. But yeah, it was creepy. Honestly, I expected it to be like, I don't know. I didn't expect the ending at all, or a lot of stuff. Like, I don't want to get into any spoilers at all because, like,
this is a movie
some
I
of the
think you should must see.
It's nuts. Yeah.
It's a must see, in my opinion.
Definitely one of the best horror movies out there. Jordan Peele, I'd say, is the best working director in horror right now. He really knows how to make something
I'd say
unique.
the best working director to date. I really think he did 2 bangers like right away. I think he could really do good. And
I honestly want to see him do more genres though. Like, yeah, he should explore like maybe action or something or science fiction. But with Twilight Zone, I'm excited to see that.
Oh yeah, it starts April 1st. And I was looking on Instagram. I was looking at Real Cinematics. They said, "Oh, what do you think Jordan Peele should do next?" He said a Marvel movie.
What?
Yeah, I was like, really? A Marvel movie? What would he do? Is there a horror Marvel movie you could do, maybe?
Um,
Like, maybe if he did The Trench, that would be interesting.
I could see him do Blade, like a reboot of
If he did
Blade.
a reboot of Blade, that'd be cool. I haven't seen Blade. I've heard of it, but just thinking about it seems cool.
Like I feel like he'd be able to do something scary, while also play off with the ridiculousness of it, because
Oh, yeah.
the original movies are very campy. And what's his name, Wesley Snipes, he had discussions with Marvel to reprise the role, and
Well, wasn't he a
even
really
then,
big meanie? Like, a big meanie? I'm not going to say anything else, but wasn't he a really, like, bad guy when he was on set?
yeah, he wouldn't talk to anybody. He wouldn't, and in the third one, he wasn't even on set most of the time, and they had to stand and do almost all the work. He only did, I think, close up.
So they shouldn't even get Wesley Snipes. I think they should recast somebody.
Yeah, there were
should be Hannibal Buress.
I'd pay to see that. Like if he got like hunked up.
Yeah, if Hannibal Buress got hunked up, that'd be interesting.
That'd be good.
And Ryan Reynolds should come back. Oh wait, that can't happen.
But
That's how I thought of it.
Yeah, but you know who might actually take on the role that was in talks for it? I think it was last year, John Boyega, and I was like, I could see that.
Oh, I could see that actually. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, because he originally was in discussions to be, I think, in Black Panther, but he couldn't because of Star Wars. So then Marvel tried to get him for another role, and I think he mentioned Blade or something. It was at a comic convention where they did a Q&A.
All right.
Yeah, we went off topic a little.
Yeah, don't worry, it's fine. We need to fill in the 30 minutes. But anyways, us. Okay, you want to continue or you want me to go?
Other than what I said, I guess. Honestly, it's really good. So I'm gonna give it.
Here, wait, we're gonna do that at the
let's
end.
get to the. I'll do that at the end. Here, I guess let's have the discussion now. But honestly,
All right.
very creepy, but awesome.
Very creepy. I'm gonna say I expected a lot creepier. Like, I know you didn't like. You thought it was creepy because there was a lot of blood, and you're not like good on blood. Me, I really like. I can do extreme violence, like the game Doom's incredible. I find. I've never finished it, but it's like insane.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I found it less of a horror film and more of a thriller. Like, I found it really did a good job with that. It was something like Alien, where I could see why they call it horror, but it's a lot more suspense. That since it's so suspenseful, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
And like, think about it. Doppelgangers like trying to kill you is pretty horrifying. But I found it played a lot of suspense, and I found that incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say much because I found it like so mind-blowing from beginning to end. Like, the beginning really got me. It was interesting, and I found the ending so unexpected. Like, I found some of the parts where, like, regular horror movie, like, oh, he's around the corner, oh, that guy's going to be alive, oh, they're going to hit this person, oh, don't go there. Mm-hmm. But the ending caught me so off guard.
Yeah, big time.
That I was shocked. I didn't know what to say. Like, throughout the whole movie, I'm like, this is a solid 4.5. And then that ending happened, and right when the credits rolled, I said, this is a 5, like, almost perfect movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, this movie is insane, especially the cinematography. I was a huge fan of the cinematography, and I'm gonna quote Chris Stuckman here. Lupita Nyong'o was so great, she's not going to get nominated for an Oscar. Because Toni Collette wasn't nominated for Hereditary. I know you didn't see that, but she was great in that, I found. But Lupita Nyong'o, it's impressive to see the person being scared from your doppelganger, but it's even more impressive when they have to play the doppelganger as well.
Yeah, her voice retarded though.
No, but that was the part, because isn't she from Africa or no?
She's born in Kenya.
Yeah,
but
she's
she
born in
was
Kenya.
she's raised and educated in the States, so she has an American accent, basically.
Oh, okay, but still, I found she did a great job.
Yeah.
And is she? I'm gonna say she's one of the best actresses to hire nowadays. I think
Yeah, big time.
because I found like in 12 Years a Slave, she really did deserve winning that, but she was in it for like 15 minutes, and it kind of was like really, because I remember she won against Jennifer Lawrence in American Hustle, and I was kind of like, what?
I didn't even see American Hustle. Is it any good?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. It's not as good as Silver Linings Playbook, but it is interesting.
Silver Linings Playbook I found just okay, to be honest.
Okay, so here, I rank it like this. Silver Linings Playbook's the best, then The Three Kings, then that movie.
What, for David O. Russell movies?
Yeah. What else did he do? He did something else.
Joy.
Oh, Joy was the worst one.
You saw it?
Yeah.
You also did The Fighter.
I didn't see that. That I want to see.
It's good. I saw that one.
Anyways, back to us. Horror movies, I think it's one of the best horror movies ever made. Like, up there with The Shining and Alien. But even at that, I wouldn't consider Alien a horror movie. And I haven't watched many horror movies, which I should now, I think. This movie encourages me to watch horror movies.
Horror are hit or miss, though. If you want to watch some good ones, you might want to...
I want to watch the classics, like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, I want to watch some of the classics.
You know, it's a really good one, and it's like super low budget, but it's fucking creepy as hell. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
Yeah, I heard that was interesting.
One of the creepiest movies ever. Another great one is The Thing.
Yes.
The
My parents,
John Carpenter one.
My mom hates horror. She saw The Thing, and she's bombarding me to watch it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, she gives it a 5 on 5, that movie.
Yeah, it's that good. Lots of good practical effects.
Evil
Dead, those amazing.
Oh, I've been dying to watch those, actually.
They're hilarious. They're so stupid.
And the Evil Dead looks
they're
like
so
crazy.
stupid. Yeah, they're so stupid.
Oh, okay. That's what I like, zombie stupid movies.
Yeah, but the first one and the all three do have, actually no, the third one's not even a horror movie. The third one's just an action movie, but the first two actually has like really good horror elements.
Anyways, so Us, I find one of the best horror movies, and it's the best movie in my opinion of 2019 so far. I've only seen 4 though, or 5 now. 5. But I also think it's gonna, if I watch it again, I think it's gonna be one of actually my favorite movies of all time. I found it brilliant. Like, I was shocked.
Oh, okay.
Not like of all time, like my top 25 for sure.
Wow. Okay, I wouldn't even put it there.
No, I found this, like, I was shocked. Like, the trailer I always found looked insane and creepy, and I liked it, but this, it was something else. And I think it should be nominated for Best Picture. It's great.
I don't think it's going to be nominated for Best
Unfortunately,
Picture.
it might not be, but at the same time, Get Out won Best Writing.
I think Get Out was an exception, just because the social commentary it had about racism, and because it was a bunch of black people, that the Academy was like, okay, we kind of have to give it to them, because
I know the Academy, but I do think if they go the horror route, I think this should be there. Yeah, this should not be ignored. I think if it's not at the Oscars, I'll call this the hidden gem of 2019. Like, the hidden gem of 2018, in my opinion, was Bad Times at the El Royale.
Big time. That should have been nominated for Best Original Screenplay. Yeah,
that was insane, I found. Anyways, Us, highly recommend. The CGI was actually pretty good. Well, think about it. It's in the trailer, so I won't. It's not a spoiler. But do you really see someone walking in fire?
That's not CGI. That's stunt work.
That's
real. People actually do that.
Whoever did that's dedicated, I guess.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so no CGI. Cinematography was great. Directing was great. Acting, especially from Lupita and what's his name, Winston.
Winston
was amazing.
Duke. Oh my god, we forgot to mention him.
He was a fan favorite.
Yeah. I hope he's not like criminally underused in Endgame, because like he had nothing to do in Infinity War.
After seeing this, I saw a bit of him in Black Panther and I saw a bit of him in Avengers. I really want to see him in Endgame. because I think he could actually be a good actor. Like, he could excel.
Like another character who's criminally underused, who's a really good actor that I've noticed lately is Sebastian Stan. Like,
I was about to say that too.
amazing.
Him and I,
Tonya
Tonya was insane.
Because Bucky, he's really lacking. The only one where he really got to shine was Civil War.
I find him stale in those movies, but Civil War he was good, but him in I, Tonya, I was completely shocked by his performance.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was Oscar worthy, I think. Did he get nominated?
Nope.
Oh, well, it should have been. But
yep.
There was probably a good reason why, but whatever.
Academy is stale.
Anyways, so overall, I think it's really good. I'm going to buy the Blu-ray, 4K, Steelbook, whatever.
I'm just going to get the regular Blu-ray.
You're going to get the regular? Yeah. So do you want to give this a rating now, or do you want to continue talking about it a bit?
Well, I'm going to give it...
Okay.
10 on 10.
10 on 10, so that would be, you say 10 on 10, 100?
Yeah.
I give it a 10 on 10, 100, so us gets a 2Dudes1Podcast rating of 100%.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah, that's good. So, would you want to talk about anything? You want to talk about maybe our future podcasts that we might review?
Well, first, I just want to have a little, just gonna be a little break in the podcast. About 2 weeks ago, I interviewed Danny Ramirez, who directed a short film on YouTube called Vader, Shards in the Past. It's a Star Wars fan film, really awesome, and really nice guy. He had lots of good things to say, and off the record, he gave a lot of great advice on what to do about the film industry and how to kind of get your name in there, because now after he made that movie, it's kind of opened more doors for him. And he most recently he was an editor on the movie Wonder Park.
I think I've heard about that actually.
It came out like on Friday, I think.
Oh, okay. Here, let me look it up actually. Oh, Wonder Park. Okay, I've seen. Yeah.
He was an editor for that, and he also edited a movie with Patrick Stewart. I can't remember what it was called. I think it's called Christmas Eve.
Okay.
But yeah,
Stewart, my man.
But yeah, he was even he even shadowed us with the second unit shoot for Robin Hood, the one with Taron Egerton.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool, and just to be able to talk to someone who's like in the industry is pretty cool. So I thought that was really awesome.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, so do you want to talk about the movies that are upcoming that we might see?
Well, there was something I wanted to mention to you. Well, there is something that I think you should watch, a movie. Here, I think we should do a segment.
Frontier?
Yes.
First of all, I just saw this. Should we talk about Captain Marvel for a bit?
Yeah, screw it, why not?
Let's talk about Captain Marvel. I think it's a good time. We'll talk about it briefly. But
yes.
Anyways, Captain Marvel. Personally, I'd say so far it's the most disappointing movie of 2019.
Disappointing?
Oh, yeah, because it has a lot of hype to live up to it, because some people like Captain Marvel. It's supposed to be the first woman-led Marvel movie, and it's the movie before Endgame. It should build in the gap between Infinity War and Endgame, so it should be huge, this movie, or really big. I was disappointed because of I know why the directors went the way they did, but Brie Larson's performance was underwhelming, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Because I found her a little stale and her line delivery was bad, but the thing was they did it on purpose to make her stand out from humans. But I think they went the wrong direction, personally.
Right.
The action I found okay. I found it forgettable. There was only one good action scene. It was near the end with Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury, and he's in the he's in some ship and he's having a dog chase.
Really?
I found that actually was really good.
I thought the action I really liked was the whole chasing at the beginning. Other than that, the rest
that was okay. like I found it funny seeing a granny like fighting, but
Hmm.
I don't know. I kind of forget that one. But there's especially as soon as she like unleashes her powers, uh, and fights somebody near the final act. I found that one very stale.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
But
honestly,
the
the,
yeah, go.
dude, you always say that like I'm such a huge fanboy or whatever. I found it just okay as well. Just I gave it 3.5. I was like,
Mhm.
it's not that amazing. Like honestly, like I don't know. Like I did not fanboy over it because Captain Marvel is not even like one of my
Well, I
favorite.
saw your hype beforehand, and it looked like you were fanboying
I
too.
really wasn't that hyped. I was just like I was just open
Well,
to
okay.
it.
Well, when I see like you, especially more hyped than I am, it just looks like you're
I
overhyped.
was excited because it's Marvel, but like
I
I
thought
didn't. It
no,
was
it
not the
looked
same
like you were
level.
really excited, but that's just me fucking up.
It was not the same level of hype I had for Aquaman. Like Aquaman, I was actually really hyped for. It wasn't the same hype for
Oh,
the
funny
last time I
story
was
about
that hyped for like
Aquaman, guys.
what?
This kid one day called me up the night before Aquaman came out and said, "Oh yeah, I bought 2 tickets and I can't refund them. You have to go with me." And I wasn't planning on going. So this kid tricks me into going, and you know what? I have to say that's probably the best trick I've ever been pulled because I did enjoy it. So good on you actually. I'm mad but not at the same time. But it was a wonderful surprise, Aquaman, in my opinion,
Surprised to
because look
be
at the
sure, but it
record
will.
track of DC movies compared to Marvel movies. Marvel movies, once in a while, you'll get an odd one or a bad one. Where this is where I found like Captain Marvel was the odd one, I think, or like
Yeah,
the one that broke like the good streak.
yeah,
But Aquaman really broke the bad streak of DC because there was Justice League, there was Batman versus Superman, there was Suicide Squad. And honestly, I know you love Man of Steel, but I found it not. But this is my
yeah.
5-year-old memory talking.
Right.
And Wonder Woman, even the first half was all right. It was setting up. The second half I actually found really good. It was getting somewhere. And then as soon as the third act hit, I completely shut me off. And that's why I gave it such a harsh review.
Same. That's why I gave it 3.
You gave it 3. I gave it 2.5 or a 2, I think.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Like I gave it a harsh review.
Damn.
But this Aquaman was great. But back to Captain Marvel. It ain't no Aquaman, that's for sure. And I was debating whether or not Shazam or that was a better movie. I'd put it on the same level, or I'd say Shazam's a bit better because I found Captain Marvel actually had some bad elements where Shazam had one or two, but it was just okay.
Yeah.
So I'll say
The
Shazam
acting was
better.
better.
For sure, the acting was a lot better.
Hmm.
But Captain Marvel I found underwhelming.
Yeah. Honestly, the more I think of it, it's really just okay. Like,
It's bland.
eh,
It's there's some I'm gonna say one little spoiler, it's not a big deal.
what?
But at one point, Nick Fury gets a piece of tape to get a fingerprint off a door handle, and I
Oh yeah,
said, "We've already
from
seen
Ant-Man.
this in Ant-Man. Like
Yeah.
seriously?" Like I found some parts unoriginal and like just bland.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say, we're not gonna say how, but the way Nick Fury loses his eye is completely ridiculous. I saw it coming a mile away,
Yep.
but it was just
I
I didn't
didn't.
know it had happened. I didn't know, like I was like, oh, this might happen, and then it happened. I'm like, oh, really? It actually happened. It
Yeah.
was completely ridiculous. And there's a lot of plot holes. I'm not gonna say what it is, but you'll see. It's something to do with an Infinity Stone. That's all I'll say.
Yep. Big time. Big time. But
But
honestly, what's your final grade for it?
final grade, I'm gonna say a 6 on 10.
6 on 10. Okay. I'd say I'm somewhere between 6.5 and 7.5. Somewhere in between
All
there.
right,
So
let's do a
7.
7.
So
So
6.5 is the 2 Guys 1 Podcast
yeah,
rating.
the 65 would be the rating. So yeah, let's get the triple frontier now, like you wanted to.
Okay. Triple Frontier. That is honestly one of the best action movies I've seen in a long time. It is so
I
exciting.
have yet to see it, just to let you know, but honestly, I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. I didn't like the trailer, but I might check it out because my mom wants to, and my dad, so I might check it out.
Yeah, even the trailer, I didn't like. I just really want to see it just because I like the director a lot, and I like the cast a lot.
I'm gonna look this up right now.
The director is the director is J.C. Chandor. He did
I haven't seen any of these movies.
Have you seen A Most Violent Year?
No, never. I've never even heard of these
Heard of it?
movies.
Most Violent Year is stars Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain, and it's like honestly one of the best movies. It's a crime drama, really good.
Okay. Yeah, there's some movies like
so,
I really need to see, like Nightcrawler. I heard was great.
Oh, great movie. Yeah, that director he went so downhill with his most recent movie. Like I was really excited for it. It's called The Velvet Buzzsaw.
Oh, he
the worst
did that?
movie of 2019 so far. Yeah, it was terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, I was so disappointed. I was like, the hell is this? But
anyways, Triple Frontier.
Yeah.
Let's just give it an Aidan Waglin review since it's not a William Hayes review involved.
Well, I'd give it a 9 on 10.
So it gets a 90%. Okay, interesting. I gotta check it out for sure. Once I do, I'll report back.
Yeah. My parents didn't like it though. I don't know.
Really? They saw it?
Yeah. Well, they liked it. They said it was just okay though.
All right, so let's look at some movies that are coming up and let's see if we see it. Dumbo, do you want to see that?
No.
I'm going to see it when it comes out on home DVD or before, but I'm not going to see it in theaters unless we get invited to a screening. Nope, we don't talk about pirating on the internet. But if it, I don't know, it looks promising, but I'm not going to go out of my way to see it.
Right, me too.
The Beach Bum.
No.
I'm not seeing that, but it looks interesting.
Yeah, I actually originally wanted to see it, but then it got like 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I was like, maybe not.
Honestly, I saw a trailer for this. I'm not going to see it, but if we get invited and it's on a good time, or like I find it somewhere, I will actually check it out. I saw the trailer the other day, Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary, yeah.
I heard it was great, and I'd actually see it. It looks interesting.
Me too. It just triggers me how the cemetery is spelled like that.
All right, Hellboy. This is an interesting story because I want to see it, as bad as I'm hearing it is, but I actually saw some reviews. Some people say it's pretty good and like fun and violent. So, honestly, I want to see it. I wouldn't mind if I didn't see it, but I'd prefer to see it. I know, Aiden, what do you want to say about it?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. He doesn't want to see it.
No, every trailer I've seen, I've just like, what the fudge is this?
I love the other two Hellboys, especially.
So do I. But like, I don't know.
Love David Harbour.
Yeah, David Harbour is good.
And Mila Jovovich.
Did you say David Harbour? It's Harbour.
Oh, it's Harbour? No, Harbour is a B-O-R. It should be Harbour.
No, it's spelled Harbour, like the Canadian.
Well, that's my mom. That's my mom screwing up name again. Originally thinking Jake Gyllenhaal, or Jake Gyllenhaal and Joaquin Phoenix, but you know. All right. Okay, I'm not seeing Avengers Endgame. That looks like crap. That looks great. I'm excited.
It does.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Honestly, I'd go see it. It looks funny.
Me too.
And I'm gonna go see it for my birthday with him.
What about Aladdin?
Aladdin? Here, wait. I'm getting to that. John Wick 3. For sure, I'm going to see it. I haven't seen the other two in theaters. This one, I'm not making the same mistake twice or three times, technically. Mm-hmm. Aladdin is an interesting case.
I'm probably gonna see that with my friends. Well, like my other friends.
If you want,
I know you're not interested.
I'm not sure. I'm on the fence with it.
If you really want, you could even get Ariel to come. If Ariel's
my girlfriend. She's not sure about it either. That's the thing.
Okay.
We're both on the fence.
Okay.
We said it. We're definitely gonna see it. In theaters is a different story.
Right. Is it the whole Will Smith thing the thing that makes you?
What's Ad Astra? I've been hearing about it.
Ad Astra?
Yeah.
It's a science fiction movie with with
Brad
Pitt. Yeah,
Interesting.
I want to see it.
All right, it's interesting.
When's it coming out?
Same day as Aladdin.
It's Disney.
Oh yeah, it's 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
Godzilla King of the Monsters?
Not gonna lie, it looks interesting, and I really like the first one. So I don't know.
There's no way you're gonna see me in that theater.
You didn't like the first one?
I saw the trailer. I didn't even see the first one. I've heard about it. Like, I wanted to see it for my birthday, but instead I saw X-Men: Days of Future Past. Thank God I made the right move there.
Yeah.
But my parents watched it and they said it's complete like trash.
I really like it. It's very edgy and dark.
Rocket Man?
What? Rocket? Yeah, that.
I'm definitely going to see it, and it just got the rating of rated R.
What? Oh yeah, I heard there's a scene where Taron Egerton's completely nude.
Interesting. But yeah, I'll go see Rocket Man for sure. Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, I kind of have to, but at the same time.
Yeah. I'm on the fence with it, but I'm going to see it for sure.
Yeah.
Men in Black International, I'm excited to go see, and Ariel's coming with us.
Sure. Has she seen all of them?
No, I'm gonna show her. Don't worry.
Okay.
She only saw the third one.
Okay.
Which is my favorite.
Me too.
Shaft, I haven't seen the trailer yet. I really got to see it.
The original one with the. Well, it's not the original one. The original one's with Richard Roundtree in the 70s, but the one with Samuel Jackson is and Christian Bale. The one from I think it's from 1999, wow. Maybe. Christian Bale is so over the top in it, but it's a stupid movie.
All right, I gotta check it out. Toy Story 4, we kind of got to see that.
Yeah.
As much as I didn't like the new trailer, like I found it like a mix of Toy Story 1 and 2. Basically, it's like, look at the trailer. It's like, I'm gonna jump out of a car. I'm gonna jump out of a car, and I like I wonder if I like this place. And it's like, I like this place. I'm not going back. That's basically Toy Story 2 and 1 mixed together.
Yeah, kind of.
I don't know. I found they also showed too much in the trailer.
Really? Oh, okay.
It felt like I saw the whole damn movie in the trailer.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't show the ending, that's all. But then there's like Avengers Endgame that only shows the first 10 minutes, which I'm shocked because it looked like the whole movie.
Right.
Spider-Man Far From Home, we're definitely going to see.
Yes, we're not waiting 3 weeks like last time.
2 weeks.
Do you know how hard that was for me?
I'm sorry. Don't worry, we're seeing it and Ariel's coming.
Okay.
Lion King.
Yeah, I'll go see that.
I'm not a big fan of the original, but I will see it because it looks great. Mm-hmm. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I'm definitely seeing. This is my third ranked most anticipated of 2019.
Same here. It'll be the first Tarantino movie I see in theaters.
Me too. I came close twice seeing his recent movies. I almost saw Django, but I got really sick.
So did I. I almost saw Django and Hateful Eight.
And Hateful Eight, yeah. Off the record, I downloaded it on the same day it came out.
Oh, wow.
And it was a good copy.
All right, yeah, because when all the Oscar movies leaked, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
all right.
For that.
Are you gonna? I'm not going to see it, but are you seeing Hobbs and Shaw?
Yes.
Really? I'm not sure about it. Well, I've never seen the Fast and Furious movies. I saw a bit of the. I saw the sixth one, but it was ridiculous.
Wait, where did you see a bit of it?
I saw it on TV. I caught the end of it.
Just the part where Vin Diesel jumps out of a car, jumps over a bridge, just to grab his girlfriend and catch her from a tank.
Okay, I think I saw the seventh one then. Whichever one. Which was the one where what's his name got a send off? Paul
Walker. That's Furious 7.
Okay, I saw that one.
Oh, okay, yeah, that one I saw in theaters.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I love that one.
Seriously, The Rock flexes out of a cast.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's in it. He survives a shot to the head.
Nice. All right, New Mutants.
It's not coming yet. It's not even coming to theaters. It's probably coming on Disney Plus.
All right, Dora and the Lost City of Gold. I saw the trailer this morning. Looks like ass.
I know. I kind of want to watch it.
Just to let you know, those 3 movies coming out on the same day, so that's fun.
Which movies?
Hobbs and Shaw, Dora, and New Mutants.
Yeah, New
Out of
Mutants.
all those, I'd rather see the New Mutants.
Really? Okay.
New Mutants, I saw the first trailer and actually looked good, I think.
Okay.
Chapter 2?
Absolutely not.
No way in hell. We didn't like the first one.
Yeah.
Downton Abbey? What the hell? Okay.
Isn't that a TV show?
Yeah. Rambo 5, are you seeing that?
Maybe.
I haven't seen any of the others.
Okay.
Joker?
The first one's good. Joker, yeah.
I'm the Joker, baby. Of course I'm seeing that. The Addams Family?
Oscar Isaac is playing the main guy, but no.
Oh, Adams? Or not Adams, Gomez.
Yeah. But no.
Zombieland Double Tap. I'm
Yes.
definitely seeing that.
Yes.
Maleficent Mistress of Evil. Are you seeing that?
What? I don't even know what that is.
It's Maleficent, the second one.
There's a second Maleficent?
Yeah, it's coming out in October.
I didn't even know there was a second Maleficent.
Right.
Okay, then.
Terminator Dark Fate. This is really highly anticipated. Charlie's Angels.
No.
Okay, I'm not going to see that. Doctor Sleep. I'm definitely going to see.
Yes, sir.
And on the same day, the masterpiece Sonic the Hedgehog comes out.
I will see that. I don't care.
Really?
Yep.
I hate you.
I want to see Jim Carrey. He looks like.
I might see it. Frozen 2?
No.
I'm going to say no. Untitled Jumanji Film 3?
Yes, sir.
Alright, I'm not going to go see Star Wars. I'm going to see it. I have to.
Okay, good.
I have a gun to my head. And that's all of our 2019 films.
Today we have a very special guest on the air. We have Danny Ramirez, the co-writer, editor, and director of the popular Star Wars fan film Vader, Shards of the Past. So, Mr. Ramirez, how's it going?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm a little nervous for some reason, but I think we'll get through this. It'll be really fun. I've never interviewed anybody before, but the more you do stuff, the more experience you get.
I'm happy to be the first.
So, you went to USC, George Lucas's alma mater. What was that like?
It was good. It's a 3-year program. I did my master's there, and I learned a ton, everywhere from sound design to directing. Probably the biggest thing are the people that you meet. Of the crew on the Shards of the Past, both producers went to USC, the cinematographer went to USC, the production designer went to USC.
Great. So I guess you got a lot of connections there. So that's convenient, right?
Yeah, well, that's the hope and dream, and going to a film school.
Yeah, of course. I'm currently doing some film stuff at John Abbott College. It's in Montreal, and it's not really a film school. It's CEGEP. Like in Quebec, the way it works is you have high school, then you have something called CEGEP, which is kind of like the in between high school and university, and then you have university. So kind of like in the middle ground there, learning the basics of film. So that's pretty fun.
Sweet.
Okay, so my next question. This is a interesting one. I'm sure a lot of people have asked this. So how did you become the director of Vader Shards of the Past?
It was a very fortunate experience. I was watching a video of Star Wars Theories, and in it he said that he wanted to make a fan film. Now, this was in July of 2017, I believe. And so I sent him an email just explaining to him about myself and that I had gone to USC, as you mentioned. My mentor, I had the great opportunity to be mentored by a guy named Simon Crane, who was a second unit director. And he was one of the guys who was instrumental in doing second unit and pickups for Rogue One.
Oh wow.
And so I learned a lot from him. And so one of the things in my email caught Star Wars Theory's attention, and he emailed me back. And from there, we, kept in contact, and it eventually snowballed into, what it became.
Right. Man, you worked with a guy who worked on Rogue One. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's extremely talented. Like, he's a second unit director for pretty much, you throw a stone at a big action movie, and he probably was the second unit director on it. So he's taught me quite a bit.
Do you get assigned like certain mentors at USC or something?
Well, at USC, you're able to be paired with an industry mentor in your last year, and you get to choose, and of course, multiple people often choose the same person. And so he kind of slipped in under the radar, because I think I was the only one who requested him, because people thought, oh, second unit director, okay, pass. But I looked up his credits. I'm like, wow, this guy's legit. This is exactly the type of thing I want to do, the type of films I want to work on. And I loved all of his work, not knowing that it was his work. And then I was paired with him, so it was great.
It's awesome. I hope I have something like that in university, because that is pretty awesome. Because I'm sure you get like a lot of insight on like how everything works from them, right?
Yeah, oftentimes, it's what you put into it is what you get out of it. And so oftentimes it's usually, let's meet for lunch, and then that's about it. With him, we did, we met and we chatted, and then met again a few months later, chatted some more. And in one of those conversations, he offered to, I asked if I could shadow him ever. And shadowing is, when you follow around somebody and just watch what they do. Basically, you kind of stay out of it, but you learn a lot. And so through that, he said yes. And from there, I shadowed him on Robin Hood. He was the second unit director on Robin Hood, the one that just came with Taron Egerton and Jamie Foxx. And so I went to Hungary for 7 days and just watched him work for 7 days. And it was an incredible experience.
Yeah, I'm sure, especially like in a funky country like that. It's cool.
Yeah.
So like you saw like all the sets and everything, all the actors and all of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's in the film, there's a big horse chase. It's probably in the film, maybe lasts like a minute or a minute and a half. But they were shooting it for, I think, like 30 days or something like that. I mean,
wow.
No, not the horse. Excuse me, not the horse chase itself, but the horse. I mean, I was there for 6 days, and they didn't shoot it all.
Right.
And so, it's when you're doing an action scene, it's amazing how slowly it shoots, because you got to make sure you get it right and that people are safe and all that.
Right. So, do you know what that's like now that you've done films on your own, especially Vader and all that?
Well, Vader is a very small film in comparison to, say, Robin Hood or Rogue One, especially. I feel like I'm always trying to work my way up and get to bigger films, because those are the type of films like, Robin Hood or Rogue One, for sake of conversation, the films I want to direct. And so I'm always learning, I'm always studying, always practicing. Film is the ultimate. You learn by doing, and when you stop doing, you start dumbing, and so you got to always keep the tool sharp. And I hope that I can reach the Simon Crane status, or the Gareth Edwards, or the Ron Howard, or whatever it might be, because I love those films.
Right. Okay, so my next question is, so you've also edited films. I did a little research. What, you edited Shards in the past as well. So what's it like editing a full-length feature?
It's a lot of work. Editing a feature,
sure.
it's like editing a short, to be honest. It's just more. The biggest thing is, you assemble it, which is essentially, assembling what's in the script and what was shot. And then from there is when editing really begins. That's when you start moving things around, cutting things out, adjusting pacing, That's when you really discover the story and the character arcs. So editing when you edit a feature, you just have more to play with because there's usually more characters and more to work with. But it's extremely fun, and it's the editor gets the last rewrite, so it's a really cool position to be in.
Does it sometimes get a little tedious?
I suppose so. I mean, I've been doing it. I started professionally editing in 2010, so about 9 years, and then prior to that, in high school I had done wedding videos and shorts and stuff like that. And so I don't really notice any tedium anymore at all. But I know, like if say my wife sits down and watches me do it, she's bored after 20 seconds. Because it definitely takes a certain mindset to be an editor. You just accept that it takes forever.
But you have to be really passionate for the craft, right?
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, my next question. This one's an interesting one. So, what were the biggest challenges on set?
The biggest challenges on Vader were mostly just getting everything in the time allotted to us. We shot for about 3.5 days, which is really quick for a film like this, particularly given the action that was in it. And we had the standard problems that exist in any production, whether it's a missing prop or something arrived late or something breaks or whatever. I mean, it happens on every movie, but mostly it was just getting everything in the time allotted. But the biggest thing that was the most difficult in the entire process was post-production and getting all the visual effects done in time. Production, which is filming, was the easiest thing in the world compared to the post-production process, mostly just because we had to do it so quickly. So we could hit our December release date.
Right. How did you guys get like such good visual effects in like such quick time? Like the stuff in there is like really impressive.
Yeah, thank you. Our visual effects is a set of incredibly talented individuals from around the world. There were artists, of course, throughout the United States and Canada, but also in New Zealand, all over Europe. And other places as well. And most of them were, high school students and college students, at least those ages. People who are super passionate about Star Wars, about the Star Wars Theory channel, who were looking to build their reels and their experience. And so we didn't have money to pay full-blown professionals for all the shots, and so we had to go with this kind of almost group of pseudo volunteers, but they made up but their passion just made everything they did so top notch. When there was problems, they worked around the clock to work it out. Some of our guys were only sleeping a few hours a night just to hit the deadline. And so we owe an immense amount of gratitude to the team, because without them we could never ever have made the film, within the little budget we had, but most importantly, just made it to the quality that they did in the short amount of time that they did.
Right. Yeah. Especially the shot of like in space and even the Naboo shot. I was just like, wow, this like looks like some real professional stuff. I was so impressed.
Yeah. Well, so was I. Originally, I had planned very different shots. I had never even planned to have those shots in the film. Mostly because I didn't think we could do it. And then our head 3D visual effects guys said, you know what, Danny, we can do this. Let me show you a sample. And he showed me, his name is Gaetan, and he showed me a 3D model of the Star Destroyer. It's not the Venator class Star Destroyer that we have in the film, but a standard like Imperial Star Destroyer. And I'm like, oh, wow, that looks really, really good. And from there, they just continually wanted to push the envelope. And so we have, and then another one of our artists from, I don't even know his real name, Mythic Productions, Brendan, I think his real name. And he also really showed me what was possible in terms of, full 3D environments and stuff. And so I owe a lot to him, because he was the one who originally said, you know what, you can do shots. You don't have to cheapen these things out. And long story short, I have no idea what you asked anymore, but
It's okay.
But it was a great process.
I'm sure. This is a question that I've been wanting to ask you the whole time. Like, it's my most the question I really want to ask. So, with Vader becoming very popular on YouTube, has Lucasfilm reached out to work with you? Because honestly, I think they should.
Well, I would love that, but no, they have not, unfortunately. And don't really expect them to. But I'm excited to, do episode 2 whenever we do it. But that's not to say that things have not happened as a result of Vader. It may not be with Lucasfilm, but another very big name director who has been involved in Star Wars saw the film and loved it, and
oh wow,
I'm starting to hopefully do some work for them very soon. I've already met with them and stuff. So it's been a fantastic. I'm very pleased with the results. I love that people enjoy the film, and of course, I hope that it leads to things, for my career as well.
Right, I'm sure. So it's helped circulate your name around the industry.
Yeah, to a degree. It's 99% of the people in the industry probably haven't heard of it, but the 1% who have it's been positive. So I'm happy with the results, and I hope that episode 2 is only bigger for Star Wars Theory's channel and for everybody involved in it.
Right. Speaking of episode 2, is there anything you could say about it? Like, I don't want any spoilers or anything, but what could you talk about it?
The Death Star blows up Alderaan. No, it's not that. Not really. Can't really say much.
Okay.
Other than it's gonna be sweet. It's incredibly fun. So we're hoping to bring back a lot of. My main focus is going to be to ensure that people can still relate to Vader on a personal level. Was my number one goal with episode 1, and I hope to continue that in the whole series.
Right. Is what's his name? Is Elliot Branch locked in for Mace Windu?
We have not cast Mace Windu yet. No.
Oh, okay. All right. So, do you and Star Wars Theory have plans for more collaborations other than just the Vader fan films?
We've talked about other stories that would be fun to do, but no formal plans. We haven't written down anything. We're just very hyper focused on getting episode 2 done.
What's the work relationship like with you two guys?
We have a great relationship. We are very much on the same mind track. We get along incredibly well, and we trust each other, completely to do what's right for the films. And so we have we've got a great relationship. It's one of the few working relationships that I've had in my career that is really just solid, great, and with really similar sensibilities. So it works out really nicely.
So you guys have a lot of similarities in terms of the creative visions you have, and it pans out well.
Yeah. For instance, the one thing that comes to mind is when Darth Vader opens his eyes in the chamber, coming out of the Force vision. Star Wars Theory wanted the eyes to kind of momentarily glow. And so he said, hey, I'd like the eyes to open and, then just to glow and then to, go back, down. And so I'm like, all right, well, let me mock something up. And so I did it. He's like, dude, this is exactly what I had in mind. And so we see things in the same way very often. So it's pretty good.
That's good. Okay, this is a really random question, but just prepare for it. So, you're the editor of Christmas Eve. How do you feel about having your name up on Wikipedia?
Is my name on Wikipedia?
Yeah.
I guess that's how I feel about it. I didn't know.
I guess now you know.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an interesting question. If you could write and direct any Star Wars film, would you use a previously established character or make up an original one?
Oh boy, that's a really good question. It depends on who the previously established character would be. Like I would love to do like a film about the Old Republic with like Malik or Revan or something like that. But one of the, of course, issues that you have with going with previously established characters, whether they're in canon or legends, is that people have preconceived notions of how those characters are supposed to be, how they're supposed to look, how they're supposed to act. And so by using those previously established characters, people are not going to like it. At least some people are not going to like it, no matter what you do. You could have a huge portion of people who love it, but you can't. Your vision of a character can never meld with the vision of the character for everybody. And so I understand why filmmakers oftentimes will make up new characters that have no preconceived notions. And so I don't know. I mean, the story would have to. It's all based on the story and how intriguing the characters are. I mentioned Revan. Revan, of course, is an extremely intriguing character because of
Sure.
his, going back and forth between the dark and the light, his memory loss, and everything like that. I find it extremely cool. He's like the Jason Bourne of the Star Wars universe.
That's a good comparison.
But and I like the time period of the Old Republic. The idea of having armies of Sith and armies of Jedi is pretty awesome. Or dark side users at least. And so if I could do anything, I'd probably do that. But if I couldn't do Revan, I'd probably make up something, because I think there's a huge, there's unlimited storytelling potential. For me, though, the most important thing is that it would always have to involve the Force.
Of course.
In some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, it's Star Trek. And I think it would have to somewhat tie in somehow to the Jedi or the Skywalkers or the original films, and in some way. And there's a variety of ways to do that, even if you're making a film about, say, the Old Republic. But and making a Yoda film too would be cool. But
that would be interesting. I'd be curious, but the only thing I'm a little like about Yoda is I like the mystery behind him, and I feel like if you go back and show too much of him, like when he was young, like it could either go like really well or it could go in the complete opposite direction. That's why I've never been sure about that one. But then again, like if you have a good director, I think it could go really well.
Yeah, I've thought about that as well, and I think a cool solution might be that Yoda also doesn't know, and so it's about his journey to find out who he is and who his, where his planet is, who his parents are, and he goes through all this. He, of course, I think he has to fall to the dark side at some point, because we have the bit of the dark side Yoda in the Clone Wars cartoons.
Right.
But at the end, he does not ever find his answers. And so it's kind of like a Joker scenario from the Dark Knights, where he finds all these different possibilities of, his backstory. But we as the audience don't know, and he doesn't know. And maybe if he does know, we don't find out. So I think it's, you have unlimited potential to do whatever you want without kind of committing to anything. But that's not the story. The story would have to be something about Yoda and his either commitment to the light. That's your story. All the other stuff is just kind of the circumstances behind it. But I'd like to know, I'd like to know who his master was and how he got so powerful.
That could be interesting.
At least,
Maybe we should pitch it to Lucasfilm.
Maybe one day. When I can think about it for longer than 3 minutes too.
Right. So do you have any major upcoming projects that you could talk about?
Nothing I can talk about. But there are, in film, no project is guaranteed until it's released.
Right.
And so I have a variety of projects that I am working on writing and developing, and I hope that they all go. Some of them have really great potential right now and are looking like they're going to happen. But like I said, you never know. It's the most finicky industry in the world, unfortunately. But I'm excited to be working and doing what I love, so I can't complain.
During when you're in film school, and like I mean like in film in general, have you ever like had like that sense where you feel like overwhelmed and like there's like too much going on, and sometimes you're just like I can't do this, and you lose like a bit of hope? Because like sometimes that like has been going through me, and like I don't know, it seems so hard, like the whole filmmaking industry.
Yeah, it is hard. I mean, honestly, I think the time where I felt that the most was during post-production of Vader. Trying to meet that deadline was incredibly stressful. And, sometime I won't get into any specifics, but there were times where I thought, this is not going to come together because of this, and this. And I just had to really, realize that worrying doesn't do anything. It kind of makes it worse. And so I just had to get to work, make a plan of how to fix it. Probably most importantly for me was having the support of a wife, because without her, I probably would have never have eaten, never slept, and I would have died of a heart attack shortly into the process. So,
Jesus.
But it's hard. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's a stressful industry, and I'm one of the few people who avidly support directors getting paid millions of dollars because of how much stress, like on a feature, say like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. They're not easy jobs, and there's a reason why there are so few top-notch directors, because it's really hard.
For sure. Like I know for a fact that like when the original Stars came out, like George Lucas was like, didn't he have like several panic attacks like during on set or something?
I've heard stories. Yeah, it's stressful. I mean, it's not easy.
For sure.
Then you got to pound on top of those to tell a story that makes sense, and you'd be surprised in how difficult that is sometimes.
Yeah. Writing a script is definitely like one of the hardest parts, in my opinion. Like getting the story down and everything. But then again, I don't know what it's like to do a feature yet, so I can't judge. Okay, so we're both big Stars fans, and I'm curious, what is your stance on the new Star Wars films? Are you a fan of the sequels, especially since they've caused like a lot of controversy and like made a lot of like the fandom go nuts?
I won't go too much into this because I don't particularly like to take a stance one way or the other. The only thing I'll kind of say is that I love all Star Wars films. I used to often say that Episode 2 was the least best of all the films. I loved the film, but I recognized all of its faults, or Episode 1 or any of the other episodes. So I love Star Wars. I think it's unfortunate that the films have divided the fan base so much. I don't think there's a need for it, because, like you said, we're both Star Wars fans. We love Star Wars. We love the escapism of it. We love the adventure. We love the characters, and I feel that Episode 9 can be very great. I mean, I got a lot of faith in JJ, and I'm anxious to see what that turns out. I'm anxious to see what the Game of Thrones trilogy will be, and even what Ryan's trilogy will be.
Right.
So I think that's about all I'll say.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure you don't want to say anything too controversial to stir up the fan base. Okay. So this is my last question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how awesome can you say Vader Episode 2 will be?
Oh, it'll be a solid 100. I think. So it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's definitely things that we haven't seen before in the characters and in action. I'm just hoping we can make it. It's a hard process to get a movie started.
For sure. Is there like a really like a huge process to like go through it, like especially like with the first one? Did you have to do like a lot of pre? Well, I'm sure you did. a lot of pre-production. But like, was there like a long process of like getting it started?
Yeah, we wrote for about 6 months before we actively started pre-production. Episode 2, the biggest thing is just getting the money to do it.
Right.
Because, as you know, Star Wars Theory funded the first episode all himself, and then with no ads on it, he's not exactly recouping that investment, and so he would prefer not to fund the second episode by himself. And in fact, I told him I will be angry with him if he funds it by himself. I don't feel comfortable with a guy spending all that money to make any film like that with no chance to recoup the money back. And so we're working to get the sponsors, and that takes time. There's a lot of logistics and a variety of factors that come into finding sponsors. Things are looking good right now, but that's what's taking the time for episode 2.
Right. Well, sir, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on, and it has been an honor just having you here, like, because you're like a huge inspiration to me. So I have to say thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. My pleasure.
You can find Danny on Instagram and YouTube as Spiffy Nerd Herder, and check out his fan film Vader Shards of the Past, which is on YouTube on youtube.com/Star Wars Theory. Here's a little preview.
What is thy bidding, my master?
I have a task for you, my young apprentice.
Wow, that was a handful.
All right, and we're finally finished.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this is the first
That's
episode.
a 55-minute podcast.
That's solid. That's all. Plus with the interview.
Ooh, true. That's gonna be great. All right.
Yeah.
Tune in next time to 2Dudes1Podcast.
Yes, sir.
I am William Hayes.
I'm Aiden Joshua Wagland.
You include your middle name?
And everything, sir.
Why?
Because why not?
All right. I'm William Albert Hayes.
Hey.
All right. Well, take care. And have a good rest of the day, evening, night, morning, wherever you are, whenever you're listening. Just enjoy yourself.
We'll see you next week.
Yep. And go see Us and Shazam in theaters. We both recommend it.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Adios, fellas.
Bye.